Now, slain rapper, eNCA, will be laid to rest on Saturday. His family announced that a public memorial service for the star will be held on Friday. The award-winning rapper and his former manager and friend Tibz was shot and killed on Florida Road in Durban on Friday night. eNCA's father, Tony Forbes, just a short while ago briefing the media. eNCA senior reporter Silindelo Masikane was there following these developments. But we also have our reporter in Durban, Nqobile Madlala, where, of course, the murder took place. But can I start with you, Silindelo? We saw Mr. Tony Forbes, a very brief statement, concise statement addressing the media a little bit earlier. What was the main message from him?
Essentially, Bradan, it was a word of appreciation, I think, for the family, and for the first time South Africans were able to see the Forbes family. Of course, it's the first time we've seen them in public. All of them quite somber. It was very emotional scenes, in fact, throughout the statement that was read by Mr. Tony Forbes, but essentially sending out his appreciation not only to South Africans, but the families that have come out to support the Forbes family, as well as eNCA's friends, also extending his condolences to Nquobile's family as well, but also Bradan sending a message out to say that they understand that eNCA was not just loved by his family, but by the nation as a whole. Hence, there will be a public memorial service that will be held in Sandton. However, the funeral, the private provincial funeral, will be held on Saturday, and that will only be for the family and, of course, close friends. Let's just take a listen to some of what Mr. Forbes had to say earlier today.
As the Forbes family, we want to acknowledge the outpouring of love we've received since Kiernan's passing. And that love has been extended to our families, the colleagues, the friends, both the Forbes and the Reeds families. And it's really helped us to in terms of giving us comfort these past few days. And it makes, of course, we're sad, but it makes it easier when we have that support and love. Kiernan wasn't just loved by us as a family. His talent shone through, and it's created its own community. Of course, we know it as the legacy, which extends to the nation at large. So it's not confined to Joburg, it's throughout the country. And the close friends that he had, they've been at our side, just like they've been with him since Friday evening. They've been at our side, supporting us. And I would like to say that as his colleagues and associates have extended themselves beyond expectations, they've really, really, really gone out of their way to support us. And we thank his wonderful neighbours who've comforted and accommodated us in this time. And it just shows how truly loved Kiernan was. And we're proud of that. We also want to thank you, the media, for the dignity in which you've captured our son in the last few days.
Silindelo, while Mr. Forbes expressed those words of appreciation, including thanking us in the media, he did raise some concern about the ongoing speculations on social media about eNCA's murder. What did he say?
Certainly so, Bradan. We know that investigations are underway. We know that CCTV footage has been released in terms of what happened that night, and social media has been ablaze over the past couple of days around what could have happened, who was involved. We know, of course, that the ANC's SG, Silindelo, has already said that it's very clear that eNCA was assassinated, that there was a hit that was on him. And some speculation on social media around the role his friends may have played, the ones who were with him, the last ones who were to see him alive, essentially. We know from that CCTV footage that they made their way outside of the club. We could see eNCA hugging one of his friends as well. They're gathered in some kind of a circle. And it seems social media and those on social media are making speculations around whether any of them was involved, whether any of them knew what was about to transpire that evening. Let's take a listen to Mr. Forbes condemning this and saying that, AKA's friends, in fact, have been very supportive throughout this very, very painful period for the family.
We do not condone what's been said about his friends and those making dangerous statements, and we appeal for them to cease from doing so. We also thank his Durban-based friends who welcomed and accommodated both myself and Stefan on Saturday, as well as his manager, Nido, making the painful process easier, of course, through their support. We definitely want to thank the Durban SAPs, the Phoenix mortuary staff, as well as the government officials who assisted us on the day. And a special thanks to Rudolph, the lawyer who ensured that the processes were properly and speedily attended to. It's our wish to celebrate the life of Kiernan with those he touched and impacted through his gift of music and influence on society, particularly the youth. His memorial will therefore be open to the public as well as streamed online at the Sandton Convention Center on Friday, this coming Friday, 17th of Feb at 3 p.m. Kiernan will be laid to rest in a private ceremony, which will take place on Saturday, 18th February.
That's Tony Forbes, the father of AKA, just explaining a short while ago what the family will be doing in bidding farewell to him. There'll be a memorial service on Friday and a private funeral service on Saturday. That's ending that update from Silindelo. Masikane was following that briefing earlier. But Nqobile Madlala is at eThekwini in Durban, where the murder took place. Nqobile, good afternoon. I don't know if you heard Mr. Forbes thanking the police in Durban for how they handled the issue and how they dealt and supported the family this past weekend.
Well, Bridan, it's been a very difficult time for the family. I can imagine, having seen them come to this area and having witnessed, having come to this area to see where everything happened. So you can just imagine how difficult it has been for them. Even the mere fact that he is thanking the cops means that there's a lot that they have done right. But here in Durban, Bridan, as you can see, the flowers have now been moved from the area where they were first put. They are back where they initially, when AKA had passed on and his friend, this is where they had put them in the beginning. So we are starting to see life, though, carrying on in this area. A little less people coming to put flowers, but you'll remember that we saw artists specifically leaving these flowers here, what you see here, Bridan, these are some of the flowers that came from the artists in Durban in the entertainment industry, coming to sort of thank AKA for what he has contributed, for that inspiration that he has been to all of them, but also not, of course, forgetting Tibz, because we do know that as they were friends from when they were younger, they continued being friends, and he was one of the people that gave them also, that contributed to his work, as well as he also contributed to Tibz life. So it's very important that they also remember both of them. So it's been very difficult for many artists in Durban, saying that they're not sure if they are safe. A lot of them also calling on the police to do the work, to do justice that is needed for AKA. Now I want to show you behind me, this is Bush on Florida, Bridan. Of course, life now does continue. You will remember that a lot of people on social media asked for these cameras to be used. We later saw a video that showed what really happened here, and of course we don't know which angle out of those 5 cameras to be exact that it came from, but a lot of artists saying those are such things that needs to be used by the police. We also saw some of the crime intelligence that was always seated here. We're not seeing a lot of them today, but instead we are seeing security, and it seems like people now are continuing. Very difficult though for a lot of people that have known the artists. And even when they continue to pay tribute to him, they really just bear in mind that he was such a great man. DJ Dira calling him a gentleman, and also a lot of them just knowing that he really did love his 7-year-old daughter. So this must be difficult. You will remember that we also saw yesterday Tibz family coming in here. They were standing exactly there, Bradan, having a bit of a conversation with the owners and sort of just understanding what really happened. And we also saw them bephethe ihlahla, Bradan, which is what we use in our culture, and we do believe that that's what we use to take the person home with us. And so we saw Tibz dad, Ogatelana, sitting and just speaking to the people. So it's been very difficult for many, Bradan, but we do know that the police have committed through the mayor. They have said that they have a commitment to make sure that they see this case through. So we are hoping to see that, but every time we reach out to the police through their spokesperson, Obab Roberts, we're being told that they are not speaking yet. But I guess in time we will get those answers. But we do know that through the mayor, they said that they are working tirelessly to ensure that the perpetrators will be brought to book.